everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. The Dolphins hope by the end of today's game they'll have secured win number 1 on the season. It's the Titans going up against the Dolphins. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. They've got the call in this Week 5 matchup.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State and to the newly renovated Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. A moment ago, this Miami crowd fired up by the emergence from the tunnel of their defensive star, Ndamukong Suh, as he and the rest of the Dolphins will get set to do battle with the Tennessee Titans. Hi, everyone. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. They come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Titans, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
The first quarter of the season already in the rear-view mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. Here's Jarvis Landry now on the return. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. Leading them out, a man in his 11th year now out of Oregon State, and that's Matt Moore.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And all the way down to the 10-yard line. A big gain there on the first play of the game. 66 yards. Well, welcome to the party. First carry of the game. How about that?
And just think, as far as he's concerned, he's just getting warmed up.
They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. They'll try and run. This is Williams. This carry brought to an end at the 8. Good stick skills, but not much room to operate. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. To throw on second down. Moore. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. The tight end Julius Thomas, the intended target. And that'll make it 3rd down. From the gun, Moore. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Damian Williams, his first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins take it right down and score on the opening drive. Building confidence after a loss, that's a good way to do it. The loss last game, but first drive here in this one, cashing it in for 6.
Hey, they can talk all they want about putting the loss behind them. I think that drive there did more than any conversation they had, don't you think?
That's exactly right. Puts that to bed. And this is what they said all week long. A lot of things they needed to do differently. Whatever they said appears to have worked. Adoree Jackson on the return. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback who started at Arkansas, finished his college career at Alabama State. It's Tavares Jackson.
You know what I did in pregame? I made sure I touched him as he went by. I want a little bit of what he's got.
The golden arm from last week.
Oh, how much fun was that to watch that game tape, all right? The number of touchdowns, what was that, 5 last week?
Yeah.
But 0 interceptions. So you think he's due to throw a pick? But I'm betting that he continues the streak in this game.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down. Second down now after the incompletion. Throwing again. Jackson, flush to his right. And this one caught by Delanie Walker. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
I think this one comes under the heading of sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules, because you and I both know coaches go crazy seeing their quarterbacks roll out, in this case to the right side, and try and throw back into the middle of the field. He got away with one there.
On 3rd and 2, Jackson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Looks like the offense is going to take another shot here. They're going on 4th and 13. They're going to try and throw. Steps away to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he goes out of bounds across the 40-yard line. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Now Jackson, a final shot before break. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play.
Okay, Brandon, thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get to the highlights. Both the Dolphins and the Titans are mucking it up a bit on defense. Neither offense can get going, and so it may end up as a defensive battle for 4 quarters. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. 1st and 10. Williams is going to show off his strength. He ended up running for a big gain of 66 yards on the play. Continuing on the drive, Williams by himself here, and this play will go for 6 as they get out to a 7-0 lead. 3rd down at the 36. Wait getting to the QB for the sack. This will go as a loss of 10. Later on the drive, Cameron Wake here will get to the QB for the sack. This ends up with a short loss in yardage. So that's it for us at the EA Sports Studio. We'll go back down to Miami for the start of the second half.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And coming up later tonight in the NFL, we'll have the Chiefs heading down to Houston to take on the Texans. And then on Monday night, it'll be an NFC North battle. Vikings and Bears from Soldier Field.
Traditional rivals getting after it one more time.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the rookie from Clemson, Cordray Tankersley. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game, because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations?
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Wesley Woodyard coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast, and a big sack. To throw is Moore. Looking to throw on second down. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football. It's also Dolphin lead to begin quarter. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. They give it to Williams, running right. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. And the Titans going to signal for a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. The Dolphins will send out the punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They're down here in a 1-score game. At the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Back to throw. Buying time to his left. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. Rashard Matthews the intended target, and it's second down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe you can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Walker. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him, and what a lot of teams do They'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Dancing to his left. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And it's looking like the Dolphins are going to win the football game. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column, too.
So for Miami, the preparation pays off as they pick up their first win on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Titans, they fall to defeat for the second time this season. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Indianapolis Colts. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Dolphins are winners here as we say so long from South Florida.
Get ahead on your preparations for this week's game by setting up your game plan.